Listen, I don't know what it is about my hair, but normally I try to I try, right? I try and primp it and preem, whatever that means, bars, and just try and execute it to look somewhat presentable. Like I want to look decent to some degree, right? Okay, I'm not trying to look like such a slob as I may come across sometimes. And I try and you comb and put together and make it just as well as you can. And it just falls apart. It falls down my face. It's going every which way. And it's fine. I'm trying to make it messy regardless, but it won't be messy the way I want it to be. It's just doing this thing where it's rebelling, and it's like, screw you, Dad. I'm not gonna do what you do. Okay, I'm gonna do whatever I want. He's rejecting the family business, right? He's like, you want me to be messy a certain way or follow your freaking lines, your combing patterns? No, I'm going all over. And I try and I try and I try and it just won't. It won't align. I'm going through this sort of rebellion with my hair. It's disobeying. So recently I've given up. Truthfully, I stopped trying to make it a certain way. I just kind of push it and just let it flop wherever it's going to be. And the weird thing is, it's looking really good. Okay. I don't know why this is. I'm going into it like, you got to do this. You got to do this. It's almost like in an overbearing, parent son relationship. Like, Dad, you gotta go into this family business. Be a dentist, be a dentist, be a dentist. And the kid's like, I don't want to be a dentist. I want to be a carpenter. I'm gonna go and do this. And I'm like, you know what? Fine. You're not gonna be a dentist. Go be a carpenter. I accept you for whoever you are. And that's me. I'm accepting my hair for whatever it's gonna be. And now it's having this sort of sadness, this brokenheartedness where it looks back and it says, why you don't want me in the family business anymore? I'm like, listen, I just want you to be you, whatever that means and whatever that costs us. And he's like, you know what? I think I want to be a dentist. And it's forming the way I want to so perfectly without me even trying. It's like we've come together in a beautiful family moment, okay? It's just great and it feels awesome. Now, I don't know if it actually looks good. This might just be a mental perception of the fact that I am aware and prepared for the results that may vary, instead of me saying, I want to look like this, and it doesn't, and you get out of whack. It's similar to if you were to go into a bathroom and you're like, okay, I expect toilet paper, I expect toilet paper, I expect toilet paper, and you walk in and there's no TP. That's me wanting my hair to be good, and it's not. I'm like, oh, what? This isn't what I planned for, right? There's no mental prep. There's no, there's no studying. There's no freaking prerequisites of mental fortitude that can begin to get acquainted with whatever my hair is going to do. So I walk into this bathroom, there's no toilet paper, and I'm screwed up, right? You walk into a bathroom, you're expecting toilet paper, what happens? You freak out because you weren't ready for this experience, this excursion, this procedure of wiping. You didn't, you have a routine, an event, an expectation, okay? But now, think of it going into that bathroom saying, there's probably not going to be toilet paper. I don't know whose house this is, but I know they're not 4-ply, they're not 2-ply, they're not even half-ply in this thing. I know that there's not going to be toilet paper, but I have to go regardless. I have to do my hair regardless. I'm going to walk in there, and I'm going to have to say, come what may. Okay, I'm just going to let it happen. And I'm going to deal with it as it goes. And that's kind of how it's working. So maybe there's something to it, just expecting disappointment, and that makes me feel better. But I don't know. But either way, dude, there's no toilet paper, and somehow my butt's still clean. Let's go. The metaphor was that my hair looks good. So, you pick up on that. People, what is up? My name is Tristan. Welcome back to Full Circus. I think it was the last episode I said, hey, it's night edition because I had some previous, occurring events and such, and I delayed it. And maybe a little bit was a bologna sandwich, but the fact is I ended up doing it late because I stalled. And today's no different, guys. I'm back. It's late. I messed up. Okay, so here's what happened, man. I did have some things, and I'm going to be a little bit, dishonest here. I had some previous engagements, some things I had to take care of. They were very important. And that took up most of my day. And when it came time for me to do the podcast in my regularly scheduled allotted time that I set aside to have this little one-on-one chat with you/us, because I watch it back. What's up, Tristan? Hope you're having a good day. I was ready to do that, and out of nowhere, the house gets flooded with people. Mom, dad, brother, pet, people, dust, neighbors, sounds, lawn, whatever. There's noises, there's people, and it becomes a little chaotic. And that's not because they're really just interrupting, saying, hey, we gotta go do this, gotta go do that, whatever. It's just a little different, and I'm not shy or nervous about performing in front of them or letting them hear that, but, I might say some stuff about him on the podcast, and I want to have the ability to talk bad about him behind their back. I'm not saying I will. I don't know where this podcast is going to go. It's not perfectly mapped out, but, I have to have that mental freeway of just knowing whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's like letting the hair fall where it is, okay? I need to know that if I want to talk horrible about him, okay, and just diss them to pieces, that I have that luxury and that ability. I don't... I can't have the mental position of knowing that they could knock on the door at any point and say, hey, what do you mean I don't brush my teeth? I'm like, whoa, exposed. I don't know what I'm going to say, but I need to have that ability to do that. What's been interesting about it is that it's been hours, and I have a callback for an audition I have to do tomorrow. And I always get a little nervous in the callbacks, because it's like you've almost secured the job, so all you have to do is not mess it up, which is kind of what you say to someone right before they mess up. Don't mess up, don't mess up. And what do people do? They mess up, okay? So it's like saying, all I got to do, it's basically already in the bag. I just got to redo what I did, and it should, line up. But even knowing that, I still get a little nervous. And my brain, I want to start thinking about that and, mental preparing for whatever may happen and get ready for that situation. But I have to stay in a podcast performance mode. There's a certain, chaotic energy that I have to bring to the show. So I'm in this energy, right? I'm in this aura, and I'm waiting for people to kind of dissipate throughout the house so I can do the show. But I'm not doing the show yet, but I also can't let go of this freaking power I've got and move into my casting thing and practice that, because I have to hold on to it while I've got it. So I've just been in this weird sort of performance limbo where everything is kind of funny, cracking up. If you ask anybody around the house all day, I'd be like, I'm singing songs, air trumpets, Broadway, the whole 9 yards, rhyming, rapping, and screaming at the top of my lungs, like, what's going on? I'm in the queue. Right, because my brain's like, okay, we have something big coming up. You got to stay in this zone. Okay, you have to stay in this space. And I'm here now, so now I'm releasing it, and hopefully I didn't use all of it talking to the dog or thawing out my chicken, because I was putting all the energy I had into every single thing I did. So that's where I am right now, and it feels good. Hopefully I can get this done and then move on to the next thing, regardless it is late. But whatever, guys. How are you doing? Welcome back to the show. Man, I don't know what's really been going on. It's been a interesting week. We've been doing a lot of Christmas stuff. Okay, as the holiday begins to unwind further, you dive into these Christmas moments. We did a couple things. Both of them were tour kind of Christmas museum-esque. We went to a Christmas tree festival and a Christmas museum. Now, look, I love art, kind of, basically. Not a ton. But listen, I think I appreciate it until someone's like, okay, now look at this, and here's this, and here's that. It's not that I don't appreciate it. I think the problem is that I don't have patience at all, right? We go to this Christmas tree festival and this Christmas tour alike. It's a huge freaking museum of artifacts and things collected. It should be really cool, but I don't look at something for more than half a second to dissect it. Oh, the brushstrokes in this painting is beautiful. Oh, the color palette they chose, magnificent. Oh, you could see the fine woven textures of the center. That's not me. How I would walk through a museum on my own with nobody, no tour, no family, no one around me. I'd go, cool. All right, nice. Okay, yeah. Oh, bam. And I'm out of there in 15 minutes flat, because I don't have the patience to sit there and really take it all in. But in my mind, I'm like, I got it. I got the point. I'll look at everything. But I just absorb it so fast, and I observe it, and I'm ready, bang, bang, ready to move on. But that's not what we do. We really take our time, and we go through the things. And it was pretty interesting because you had a tour guide. You had a tour going through this little museum, and these people really didn't want to be there. As much as you pay to go through this Christmas museum and you expect them to be jolly and they're dressed like elves, like, all right, welcome back to Castle Noel. And as you'll see over here, this is the Santa Claus chimney. It simulates the pressure of what it feels. I'm like, oh, can you smile half a bit? Okay. Did they not let you have any cookies? No sugar, no nothing? Because it's hard. Like, I get it. Probably a long day. But at the very least, salad. A little bit. They were pretty grumpy. It was kind of weird. And I don't like a tour guide regardless. Let me just explore as I please. Put some security cameras up alike. So, yeah, that was an interesting thing to go through. She also was like kind of weird because she was talking about the movie Fred Claus. And they had dwarves. They had shorter people acting out as the elves, right? And she was acting like she'd never seen little people before or understood the concept or nobody knew what she was talking about. She's like, oh, wow. So anyways, you remember the elves and Fred Claus? Yeah, well, look, obviously people are tall, like me and you. And granted, she's about 4'8", and we're much taller individuals, and we don't really resemble elves as much. So I kid you not, for the movie, they went to someplace in Russia or something, and they actually found little people. Like, they were like people, like actual people, but they were smaller. And I was like, what are you talking? What is this? What kind of weird comment? Like, I'm already trying to move on and get past this whole thing, but it was like she was just explaining some sort of weird, obvious or condition, like it was so rare to her, but also, she wasn't that tall to begin with. It was pretty interesting. It was like, yeah, there was actual, there was some sick people. There were some people with funky eyebrows. You've ever seen people with funky I've got funky. This guy over here, yeah, the kid in the Tom and Jerry, he's got funky eye. It was just weird to point out something that is a natural occurrence. There are tall people, there are short people, there are wide people, there are thin people. Oh, speaking of which, dude, we were going through this thing, and there was a lot that happened in this tour that was like in my brain muscling around because I'm like, go, get out, and things just keep happening. We were stacking up, and the whole room, listen, kind of boring, but it was just covered in picture frames. They weren't even autographed. Like, they had pictures of Christmas movies. Like, so basically, when actors in a film or a production, they have to send out photos because that's how you promote the movie. I'm like, okay. These aren't even autographed. Did you just get these off Google Images or something? But anyways, they went around. We looked at all these freaking things for way too long. And I'm like sitting in the corner, kind of in the back. And she's like, get out of there. You can't sit in my corner. That's where I'm supposed to be. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, no, I'm kidding. You can fit there. You're small. And, this bothered me. Okay. And I'll tell you why. Because recently I've been on a bulk. Okay, a bulk of muscle and strength and endurance bound. And for someone to call me small and act like I'm some sort of petite little figure, I was immediately enraged, dude. Not that much, but it made me think, So, lady, I broke down for a minute, for a good 2 or 3 minutes. Like, am I small? Are the curls not working? And listen, I'll be honest, I've been a little insecure lately. I've been going through this bulk because they say you're supposed to eat a lot of food, man. Eat a lot of food and work out real hard, and the bulk's supposed to come together. And for the first month or so, man, I just didn't feel like the muscle was coming on. So you're just constantly eating more food than your body can take, and you're working out so hard, and the muscle wasn't happening. So I'm constantly sick, and the only thing that was happening was I was getting fatter. I was just only getting more plump for the holidays and without the muscle. So it was pretty disappointing. And yeah, I just wanted to be big, but you know what? Maybe she thought she was complimenting. Guys are different like that, Girls will be like, I want to be small and thin and petite and I'm light as a feather, or whatever. Guys are like, I want to be strong, heavy, dense, hard to move, It's a different perspective. So she really hurt my feelings a little bit. She made me think about that, man. But you know what? That next workout I went so intense in the session that the pump was so good, dude. and I felt like I was really achieving my Hulk status. But yeah, what else happened there, dude? Not much. The bulk's still going as far as the workout goes. Man, I'll tell you what. I was really against exercising for a long time. Plain and simple, okay? It's hard to get up and do something you don't want to do. There's a certain level of discipline that it takes. And everyone says when you start working out, you just get addicted, man. Like when you hop on the treadmill, I know it's hard for the first month or two, but you hop on the treadmill over and over, you force yourself to do it again, and you get doing the curls and the pushing, you do all this stuff, and they say you get addicted. And I called baloney on that for so long, and you get addicted. Funny enough, these people, that stupid face that I just mocked, whoever said that, they were right. You do get addicted, but I'll say this about addiction, man. What is an addiction? It is a high with an immediate low. Okay, so yeah, I'll wake up in the morning and go, yeah, dude, I can't wait to work out. I'm excited. I'm going to get in there. Now, three freaking curls in, I'm like, oh, there's regret. There's this deep sadness in the core of my body that goes, oh, no, I've relapsed. And there's pain, okay? So it's like any other addiction where, yeah, you go, woo! Oh, I'm horrible and broken. It's painful. I hate it. And it's a sucky, like any other addiction, man. There's lows with the highs. There's no one all be all. And it's a hard life to live, man. What else happened out there, dude? The Christmas tree festival was nice. There's just a bunch of Christmas trees. There's not really much to say about that. Although, I went to the bathroom in there. I go to the bathroom a lot, dude, because we drink water. And I saw they have these freaking rows and rows and rows. I don't know. There's freaking 30 of these automated sinks and automated paper towel holders and stuff like that. And I thought it was cool. Although I can never get them to work. I know everyone's always like, hey, we got to get to Mars. If you've seen Elon Musk, he's like, we're going to put the freaking Neuralink in the chip. We're going to start repairing people and, connect with the smartphones. I was like, dude, can we just get the freaking automatic paper towel driver to dispense when I wave it under there so I don't have these freaking sloppy, moist hands like I'm casting spells under it? If I do that, I just want it to work. That's where we're at. We can't be exploring the galaxy until we can make, So anyways, I walk in there, there's a ton of those, and I didn't know that none of them were working at the time, so I see that there's like 30 of them, and there's 2 regular sinks, just old handles and a couple cranks, and I was laughing at that at before. I was like, are there just like a couple like Luddites that are against the technology? Like, whoa, this freaking robot sink. I don't want some robot washing my hands for me. This freaking... So they have to have these old school, they're against the future. And it seemed like a fun, like, I'm not, listen, you got to put in a normal sink for me. I'm not going to wash my hands. So I thought that was funny until I tried to go into the automatic sink. Like, this freaking nerd. Oh, come on. Hey, I'm trying to do it. I'm waving. Nothing's visiting. And I had to use the freaking old school sink. Where are we in the world where we're making robots and Neuralinks and spaceships and all kinds of deep AI? The technology is profound. But we can't even wash our hands on command. So yeah, it's a really interesting thing, man. Nothing else happened much in the bathroom except a guy stood right next to me, which is a big no-no. If you go to a urinal, okay, if there's freaking 5, you go 1, skip 1, 1, skip 1, 1, it is what it is. But, it really got to me, dude. That's probably one of the first times I've been pee shy in a while. And it's not pee shy though. It was, I couldn't pee because I was laughing at the fact that this guy had stood next to me. So I couldn't do it. So now I'm just sitting here and he comes right up next to me. And I was about to pee. I was like, this is funny. But now I was like, okay, well, now I got to restart. I got to pee now. But like, your core's tight and I can't pee now. And then the longer that it happened where I wasn't peeing, like I was thinking, oh, this guy's got to be listening for my stream. He's like, is there no stream going on over there? Why? Is he automated pee? What's going on over there? So I'm thinking about, not only he just came right next to me, like this is awkward, but it's funny. And now I'm not peeing. And the longer I keep going, I'm still not peeing. So I keep laughing and laughing and laughing to the point where I just don't even pee. I just zip my pants back up and I go and I try and wash my hands. It doesn't work. And I'm still laughing and I have to do a lap. I have to go back in. and go back into it because I can't pee when I'm laughing. Apparently, I learned that about myself. I thought I could have any kind of emotion and still go to the bathroom. I was wrong. Yeah, dude. What else happened out at the Christmas events, dude? Nothing much. I always say nothing much, and I add like 14 things. Yeah, nothing much happened. Oh, we were actually walking through this freaking 3-hour-long extravaganza. No, again, the people were definitely interesting for Christmas folk, Like it should be the holliest and jolliest of all the employees. And you go up to this Santa thing. It's like the Christmas Story where they have the big slide where Santa kicks him in the face. And they give you these little rugs so you can sit on. I'm like, okay, what's up, Santa? He's like, you want to get a picture? I'm like, okay. He's like, $30. I'm like, no, I've seen plenty of you. So I go to sit down on this little rug thing, and it's like kind of folded over. I'm like, okay, here we go. He's like, whoa, hey. Put your freaking feet in the hoops. And they're like, there's like a little fold where you can stick your feet into the carpet. And she was like acting like everyone was stupid for not knowing it. With like, I've never had just a magic rug to go down a slide. I've never done this before. Put your feet in the loop. Like I was gonna be scuffing up their slide. They're like, no jackets either. Take that off. It's a playground slide. All your stuff cannot be in the right side. If you have anything on the right side of your person, put it on the left. It was like I was going onto an airplane or some sort of intense roller coaster environment. They've all got these rules. They're shouting at me. I'm like, what is happening? It's a plastic slide. What happened at the slide before I got here that these rules were implemented? Did someone have something on the right side of their body that just crashed and they got paralyzed? Or someone just had a jacket full of knives that scratched up the sides, or their feet got stuck and they tumbled? Like, I have no idea. But they were talking about these like in a life or death manner. I was like, oh my gosh, I thought this was just going to be a one and done thing. You think it wouldn't be that difficult to go down a slide, but it was. So eventually I get through this laundry list of rules. And I make a joke like, oh, can Santa kick me? Like in the joke, he like pushed me down. And she's like, no, he can't do that. But if you want, I guess we can kind of give you a shove. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess, but I was just kind of, whatever. And then she kicked me. I was joking about the kick thing, and I was like, okay, well, if you're going to give me a shove, just booting someone in the back, she put her foot on the back of my neck and shoved me down the slide. They're so concerned about safety, and she just kicks me down the freaking thing. There might be a footprint on the back of my shirt. I still don't know. So really interesting day overall, man. It was a good event, I guess. So yeah, they really messed with my feelings, calling me small, and they beat me up, kicked me down a slide, and I had an interesting encounter in the bathroom. So really, it was not the holliest and jolliest, I guess, but it took a long time, and it's fine, man. It's fine. Yeah, and then we were trying to leave, and listen, I love my family, and like we all love to talk. I have a podcast. I'm talking on it right now, but when it's cold and it's raining, and I get cold easily, okay? We can't be doing the chit chat, right? We walk out there, and my brother and my sister-in-law, they start chatting, right? My brother's talking to my dad, sister's talking to my mom, and I'm trying to get into the van, and it's raining. Like, we gotta go. What are we doing? And I start tuning into the conversations, and my mom's always talking. Oh wow, the slippers you got, those are so cute. Where'd you get those? And she's like, oh, I got it from TJ, like whatever they're saying. And I'm like, all right, this is not worth me being cold over. Listen, maybe I'm a wimp. I'm a pansy. I don't know what it is, but I freeze easy. I'm like, okay, this is, okay, talk about something a little bit more important. I tune in over to my dad and my brother Carlton. They're talking about some road closures, which they both know about. They had already exchanged a freaking Facebook posts and texts and probably emails. They know the coordinates. They know what's going on, what's being shut down. I'm like, guys, there's no new ground being broken here. She got the slippers from TJ Maxx. The highway's going to be shut down. Can we go home? Okay? I'm cold here. And so it's always just this chitty chat stuff. I don't know why. It has something to do with my brother moving out. After he moves out, we treat him like we don't see him that often. Every time he comes over, we're vacuuming and pretending like we're cleaner than we are. Like some of his mess still isn't here. I'm still finding Mountain Dew bottles. He's a freaking robot kit in the back room filled with tools and parts that's laying over that I got to keep hurdling over. Who are we cleaning up for? Who are we trying to impress? Who are we trying to hug and talk to and act like, we're not going to see him in 40 hours? He's here all the time. I see him. It's not that big of a deal, but it was to me at the time. I was cold, and I was like, hey, get me out of here. Get me out of here. So it's fine. It's cool. But it's just conversation. I like conversation, dude, but, I can listen in from within the confines of a vehicle, preferably. Recently, dude, I'm trying to segue without just stuff saying, hey, what else is happening, dude? What else is going on? I'm just going to start moving on. On the last episode, I talked about, I take that back. How am I supposed to segue without saying, what else is going on? I got to say, well, in other news, it looks like the last episode of Full Circus, Tristan Sartoris mentioned Little Caesars upping their game after acquiring said sponsor of the NFL Network. They've upped their prices, upped their game, and upped their pizza. It is no longer hot and ready. It is bold and I don't know why. Still ready. And I gave them praise. I trashed them and I brought the praise back around. And now I'm going to go this. I'm going to steal it and take it back. Because Little Caesar, you blew it. I went there literally the day the podcast went up. Pizza hadn't been cut, sloppy all over the place. So I think they're trying to do better. But you guys have got a rat in your midst, okay? There was someone over there who has yet to be fired. He's still pretending. He's like, yeah, no, I cut the pizza for sure. Yeah, no, I bake it all the way. Absolutely. Why wouldn't I bake it? And then as soon as the manager's gone, he's like, okay, just stop and send it. So, dude, I'm on to you. I'm going to find out. I'm going to keep a log and a checklist. I'm making Microsoft Excel sheets. Keeping track, okay? I'm taking names. I'm going to keep which employees are working, certain hours, certain days. I'm going to figure out who you are, and I'm going to get you fired. And that's just the way that it is, dude. I don't want to make the unemployment rates rise, but if it's the cost of my pizza, my sanity, and my lunch, you better believe you're out of a job this Wednesday, bucko. So, yeah, Little Caesars guy, either up your game or I'm coming for you. And that's not just a threat. No, yeah, it's a threat. It's a threat. Can you say that? No, I take it back under the procedures of law and on account of me possibly getting in trouble. I mean no harm. As long as they don't watch the visual thing and they saw me wink, then there'll be no, Gotcha. And in other news, so I've been doing a lot of Christmas shopping lately, getting pieces and parts for different family members. I tell you what, dude, it's hard having a big family. There's a lot of different gifts to get, and I can only imagine how it feels to be a Mormon. You're like, I got freaking 35 gifts to buy for just my immediate family? This will be no easy task. So I'm shopping around, and I went to go get my dad's gift. It's, he listens to the podcast, so I got him tape measures, because he said he wanted tape. Oh, as long as hopefully he doesn't turn his volume up too high. I whispered. I got him some tape measures. He knows what he's getting. He told me what he wanted. And I went to go pick him up at Home Depot. And I had one of those stupid moments. This isn't a huge story. It's just one of those things where someone's waving, and you're like, oh, me? Oh, hi. And like, no, the person behind you. I'm like, oh, and you have this little moment of shame that happened. I was sitting in the car waiting for them to bring the order to me. And this girl walks out. She starts yelling, you got the tape measures? And I'm thinking, well, obviously she wouldn't be yelling that at me because there's other employees all about. She's still looking my direction. You got the tape measures? I'm like, is she staring at me? I don't want to be rude and not respond, but I see there's another employee right behind me, probably, has a bag of so. No one's saying anything. She yells again, you got the tape measures? Because the person's not responding, I'm not responding. We don't know who she's talking to. And it's still going on, and no one's anything. I'm like, holy crap, I think I'm the rude one. This is one of those happens. I thought I was going to be tricked in one of these wave moments where you go, hi, oh, no, not me. It's like, oh, I'm not letting that happen. But then 3 times over, she does it 3 times. I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm being rude. I'm going to have to say something. A 4th time, this person's so persistent on making sure that whoever she's yelling to responds like, hey, do you have the tape measures? You! And she's pointing, looking right at me. And I say, oh, yeah, sorry, I got the tape measures. She's like, no, not you. And the person walks out like, it's me. Like we didn't know. Why didn't you respond, lady? You make me look like an idiot. You have any idea how that makes me feel? I went on a roller coaster of anxiety and guilt and shame, okay? I started off feeling, I'm not falling for it. I begin to fall for it. I feel guilty. I dodge the shame. Guilt rises. I cave in. Shame, pressure. Just a emotional freaking obesity, okay? Not actual obesity, but my brain feels fat and sad and gluttonous and not in a good way, dude. Really sad. So the people at Home Depot, get your act together. Now, I'm not saying I'm keeping a freaking Excel sheet of which employees are doing what, but if you keep that up, I'm going to get you fired. No, I'm kidding. I'm not getting anybody fired, guys, okay? Again, visual only gets the winks. So anyways, I got the gift all in well, but my pride is somewhat intact, but you know what? A piece of that is still in the parking lot. As well as that freaking Christmas tour because someone said I was small. Hey, you little thin stick. What are you doing here? I'm beefy, okay? I'm a beef stick, lady. Don't ever act like I'm some sort of weakling. Have you seen the amount of curls I do? I got so offended I might as well pull up my phone like, this is my workout. Do you see how long I'm scrolling? Set, rep. You think I'm not putting in the work? You want to see my macros? You want to see my protein count? I'm working really hard. And she probably just meant nothing by it. She probably meant she was flattering, but you know what? I'm still heated. Yeah, dude, other news, dude. We're really kind of at the end of the show. Oh, dang, we're like 30 minutes. Yeah, the Browns have played recently. It's not really crazy. It's hard to watch the Browns still because Deshaun Watson, the guy who, did some certain stuff, allegedly, but also it's like allegedly, but like we know, but we don't, but you can't, but you have to. Here's the thing is like, well, how do you know he didn't? How do you know he did? I'm like, you want to give someone the benefit of the doubt, but when there's 40 different women saying this, they're like, well, why'd they accept the money then? Well, it's like, well, probably because they knew they weren't going to win, and they got sexually assaulted. I mean, what do you do in this situation when someone's like, yeah, you're probably not going to win this. Here's a mill or two bailout. I'm like, well, I mean, sometimes justice has to wait a day, and I got to get these bags. I don't know what the situation is. But, yeah, it's rough, and they say, well, you've never met the guy, how do you know? Listen, here's the thing. If my reputation, excuse me, was that I had sexually assaulted 40 people, and we hadn't met, you can't tell me that you're going to look at me if I'm not the quarterback of your team and saying, yeah, he probably didn't do it, okay? It's like you're just believing something because you want it to be true or not true or untrue or whatever you're trying to believe in, because you want him to be your quarterback. It's like saying, what's a good analogy for this, dude? I should have thought of it before I went into it. It's like, I don't know, it's like a weird twisted relationship, where you're sad. It's like, here's what it is. It's like a girl who she's not having a lot of luck. She's not, getting in any good relationships or whatever. And she finally gets this relationship, and the guy comes with some red flags. But, he's like, hey, I got money. We're going to get a nice house. Here's a nice dog. Comes with a lot of red flags, but he's bringing you some sort of positive, not exactly a silver lining, but you know what? You're kind of desperate. You haven't had a good quarterback in a long time. So you kind of start avoiding these red flags. And they keep piling on. And eventually you have to just sell your soul because if you marry this guy, obviously it's not going to work out. Something bad's going to happen. And I don't really know where the analogies go, but I'm upset. I did wish it wasn't true. It's hard being a Browns fan. We won the other day, and I rolled down the window. We were passing the neighbor, and I said, hey, go Browns. And I left the inflection. My voice went up because I left a question mark on the end. Because I can't shout, go Browns! Exclamation point. I go Browns? Should we? I feel there's some sort of guilt. You're like, oh, I shouldn't be in this relationship with them at all. There's so many red flags. So it's tough and tricky, dude. It's tough. Dictionary check. So it's hard, man. But speaking of Browns, though, dude, carrying on, there was a Browns. So there's like subreddits and Facebook forums and such for each team. And there was a Browns fan that went into the Ravens, one of the Browns rivals. He went in there. He starts commenting for months, maybe more, a year, more years or so, pretending to be a Ravens fan for so long. And he gets promoted to admin, I guess, so he can adjust the picture and the layout and the names, because he's like the boss. Like, oh, this is one of our biggest, bestest Raven fans ever. So he plays an undercover scheme for, I think, over a year, maybe a year and a half. I actually don't even know, but it's a long time to gain these people's trust. He's commenting, boo, stupid Browns, whatever. And it changes the name to Cleveland Browns Fan Club, Cleveland Browns biggest fans or something like that. And everyone's upset, and you can't change the name back for like 60 days or something. So espionage, good for sports fans. I feel like it should be bigger news that you somehow betrayed the trust of a whole legion of people. That, I'm logging in, I type about the Ravens and whatever. And I think it's just hilarious that this guy played the long con that hard. You can't just do it, I got it once a week. You got to be in there all the time to gain the trust. You know how hard that's got to be, especially as a sports fan. Like, people are live and die by that stuff. If you go Ohio State, Michigan, or anything like that, people, they send death threats to each other. They're beating each other up. I mean, this guy was probably spitting and brushing his teeth every 5 seconds. He's washing his fingers. He's like, I can't believe I typed that out. Can't believe I typed "Go Ravens." And he did the work. He did the dirty work. And now if you go look at the Browns or the Ravens fan club, it now says the Browns fan club. So there's no Ravens fan club. Sorry to tell you guys, but the Browns infiltrated them. Again, it's hard to celebrate it because it's like, yeah, way to go, ? Yeah, all right. I think that's everything I have to talk about today. I do need to go and mentally prepare for this callback, and I need to expect there to maybe not be toilet paper in this setting. So I gotta be comfortably getting uncomfortable. So whatever that means, I gotta do that. I do have one more note, but I don't know what it means. It says cold tree, and you would think it's a typo, but it's freaking with a pen. There's no typo there. What did I mean? I look back on that like some sort of schizophrenic. I'm like, what kind of life was I living? It's not like it was months ago. It was 2 days. I wrote down cold tree like it had some sort of beautiful, exaggerated meaning. I've been racking my brain all day. 2 thoughts come to mind, and I still don't think any of them have to do with what it is. One, I was going to talk about maybe fake trees and say, isn't it crazy that you go get a fake tree that has snow on it? Like, that's kind of interesting. It's poor. It's like buying a TV and hanging it up while it's still in the box. Like, you couldn't just like finish the job. Like, what kind of freaking poor work is this? There's snow on the tree. It's like you buy one with fake squirrels in it, which would be a funny like fake Christmas tree. But I don't think that's what I meant. And my other thought was maybe that it's so freaking cold in the house that the tree, which is a conifer that should survive in cold elements, is probably still dying. It's like, I can't, what is this? What kind of weather do you got? Our house is so freaking cold that you walk outside and the tree begins to grow better because, like, well, it's freaking, 30 degrees out here, but inside it's icy. Still probably not what I meant by, because the neurons aren't clicking. I don't know what it is, but if you guys can think of anything better that has to relate to cold tree, let me know. I'm racking my brain. We'll give it another 10 seconds. We're going to think about it. It's like, if you can't remember in 10 seconds, or I think the joke was that you can't remember in 8, then you have no business letting it be. So we're going to give it 8 seconds of single solitary brain power. Go. I don't know, dude. Why is the tree cold? Where is it at? And why did I write it down? I don't know, dude. I don't know. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in to Full Circus. Late edition. Hope you guys have had a blast. To all the guys out there, You're giants. You're dense. You're heavy. You're strong, and you are hard to move. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't stand next to people in urinals. Science. What's this? What am I doing? Some sort of cliff note at the end if someone just wants to fast forward? Like, what's the too long didn't watch version? Can I just get all that at the end? No, you can't. Hey, if you want to find out what I talked about, watch the whole freaking thing. I'll see ya. I appreciate your time. Again, Merry Christmas to me if you watched, especially my family. I love you guys. Appreciate it. I'll see you. Peace.